Hey guys, Mr. Happy here, back with part 4 of my sightseeing log guide. This video will cover a visual guide for all of the details you will need for vistas 31 through 40. That includes the location, weather, time of day, and emotes required, so let's get right into it. Vista 31 takes place in Upper Noscea at X12, Y22. There's going to be a large spire or spine, a bone spike, whatever you want to call it, and you need to climb to the top of this to get to the vista. Now, this vista is extremely annoying, and you may need to just wiggle your character around a little bit before it appears. It sometimes takes a few minutes to get going for me. Now, once you're up on top of that spine, you're going to have to make sure it's between noon and 5 p.m. Eorzean time. Also, it needs to be clear, and then just do your standard /lookout emote. For number 32, teleport over to Camp Bronze Lake and go to 2925. There should be some small ruins here that you can just walk up on and then jump across to this spot right here. Once you're there, make sure it's between midnight and 5 a.m. It needs to be thunderstorms outside, and then do /lookout. For 33, head over to Outer Noscea at X12, Y15, and you should be out on this little cliff right here looking at all of the floating structures from the floating city of Nim. I got this one between 10 p.m. and midnight Eorzean time, but the time range may be a little bit bigger than that. The weather needs to be fair, and do /lookout. Now 34 is pretty close to that. You just have to head over to X17, Y16, and you're going to have to do a little bit of parkour. You're going to have to jump on this rock, jump onto the structure right here, and there's actually a gap. You need to jump over to the next structure, and that is where the vista point is actually going to be. I got this one between 5 a.m. and 8 a.m. Eorzean time. It was overcast, and you need to do /lookout. Now for 35, head over to Omgoro Mines in Outer Noscea, and you're going to want to be about X23, Y11 for this one. Now you need to actually get on top of this furnace right here. It's not too hard to jump on top of, just watch as I do it in the video right here, and you shouldn't have too much trouble at all. Once you're on top, it needs to be between noon and 5 p.m. It needs to be clear outside, and then do /lookout. '36 is going to be the last one in Outer Noscea, and it's actually at X15Y9 inside of the Hermit's Hovel house. Now, once you're inside of this house, you're going to want to get onto the top floor by jumping onto these bookcases and things right here. Once you're there, you need to stand on the stool, and that should trigger the vista to appear. It needs to be between midnight and 5 a.m. It needs to be raining outside, and then /sit on the stool when you meet those conditions. For 37, you're actually going to have to teleport all the way over to New Gridania and head towards Blue Badger Gate. That is actually the gate that heads out to Central Shroud. Now, this jump can be a little bit tricky, but you're going to want to get up on this little tiny wooden railing right here and jump to the first gate of the Blue Badger Gate. Then from this first gate, you're going to want to jump to the second gate and then walk to the edge of it, and you should be there. It's at X14, Y14 in case you need to know, and the weather conditions are going to have to be fair between 8 a.m. and noon Eorzean time. Just do your standard /lookout once you have all that, and you should land this one. And 38 is actually going to take you to Old Gridania in the Lancers Guild, X14, Y5 in case you need to know. It's actually on top of one of the cupboards, and you're going to have to jump across these weapon racks right here in order to get to it. It needs to be between 5 a.m. and 8 a.m. Eorzean time. It needs to be raining in Old Gridania at the time, and then do /lookout. Now that we're done with the ones in the city, you can teleport out to Central Shroud and head for X23, Y19. This is actually a pretty frustrating jump right here. You actually have to get on top of the wooden arc of this little building right here. In order to do that, you need to get on these little withered away tree branches, or tree stump I should say, and need to make a very precise jump onto the wooden arc. But once you're there, all you need to do is make sure that it's between 5 a.m. and 8 a.m. it's raining outside, and then do /lookout. And finally, the last one for this guide, number 40, also in the Central Shroud. This one is pretty easy to reach. You just need to head over to X13, Y23, not too far from Hawk Manor, actually. You actually need to get on top of these roots where the water is streaming down, and to do that, you just have to make a few quick hops and jumps onto these rocks and then walk onto the roots, and you should be okay. Once you're there, it needs to be between 6 p.m. and midnight Eorzean time. It needs to be clear in the central shroud, and then do/lookout. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching. Hopefully this helped you with 31 through 40. I'll have 41 through 50 coming soon. Be sure to like, favorite, subscribe, and share. And until next time, take care.